Alright, so as projects tend to accumulate, today's is a schmidge different. My mom described a knife that an old instrument maker or an instrument repairer made for her long time ago. The description was it was made out of a file, of which we have files. It was a very thin blade, and I think she said it was only beveled on one side. So this one is the candidate that we're going to use for the knife. This will be turned into another knife or two later. And the goal is to, well, alright, there's a difference between a goal and I basically can only do this with files. The goal was originally only to do this with files, but it's honestly a little easier to do it with just files because I can do it almost all at this workbench. But the other stipulations for the knife was it was a white wood. I have a piece of white wood. It's a scrap from something. I'm guessing maple, and if I'm wrong, and since I'm wrong, tell me if you know what this is based off of grain structure alone, or as the video goes on, because I have no fucking clue. Am I supposed to swear these days? That sounds like a problem. I got distracted. So, it's a piece of light or white wood that has the knife firmly planted in, and she said that the instructor used this section, like specifically the tang of the file, and it was in here. You know what? I'm gonna draw this, but it had a white wood with a dark backing, and I got this also a scrap. I'm guessing ebony. My mom says it's from a piano. Just a guess, but like also, it has a little bit of glue, or no, that's wax. It has a little bit of wax and some other stuff. It legit could be from a piano. It was a scrap in a bin. This was a scrap in a bin. Should be interesting. But this is the general construction of said knife. Smooth. Ahem. Somehow, in this house, I did not find a single sheet of paper that was convenient. Besides the point. So, So, the deal is the construction is sort of like this, based off of the description alone. You have your rectangle of wood, and you have a channel, and in this channel is how this person inserted said file piece into this away. So you have knife blade here, and then sandwiched in the back we have our piece of ebony or dark wood, and that goes in there. Sorry for the hard cut. My mom walked in literally as I finished that sentence and finished this very crude drawing, which was supposed to be less crude. Sorry. Cat decided to jump onto and off of my shoulders. But yes. Basic idea. Generally, square body. Knife pointing. Dark wood there. You know, it hasn't changed in the last 13 seconds. I think the black side is going to be on the back, so the blade part will be here. And the blade geometry should be something along the lines of it'll probably come up, if not all the way to the tang, or the tang part of the file, it'll probably come up as close as I can so that one side is beveled like that and the other side is just flat. And if I don't bevel the wrong side, it should be the right side, so it's a right-handed knife. So I'm ready to get started. I've been putting this off for a little bit. Something I should note too, something I should note directly after coughing is this has already been annealed, which means that it's soft, and can be filed easily. A little better. Stuff smells like a Sharpie fucked bottle of isopropyl alcohol. But it does a good job. It's supposed to be blue. That is... Son of a bitch. Find me a relatively straight edge. Happens to be the back of this thing. The handle that I made for this literally fell off. So that was fun. Mm-hmm. And this is a little tungsten carbide scribe I got from an Imager Secret Santa, which is fucking cool. That line doesn't show up too good, but should be good enough. I'll give that a shot, and I will set another line here. I kind of want it to come all the way out, so we'll set it across that. That one shows up nicer. Good. Those are our lines. Alright. Sorry. It's the last time I'm refinagling the camera for at least the next 10 seconds. Whew. This is nice and tight. Always be a little tighter. Ooh. That is a screech. Alright, so you see this line? I'm probably going to keep pushing it back further because I would like this to be a decent shallow angle without like this is really thick is what I'm trying to get at. So we'll go as far as necessary. Yeah, that is heating up significantly. Like I can smell it in the air. That's how much file is on the table right now. Just as a reminder. well, nobody was looking. Oh, I got it down to a decent shape. However, we are having trouble. Not trouble, but we're at the last little bit of getting it to the edge. So instead of forcing it from that side, I'm going to flip it over, flatten it a bit from this side. I'm going to try to flatten it real careful like, so as to get really close to that zero, like the bevel coming all the way to the end, but without radiusing that. That would be just fantastic. Alright. This needs to be flat anyway, so, you know, works out. Yeah, come on. It's usually around now where I decide if I want to give up on making it a chisel edge, because it's really hard with just hand tools. But I could potentially persevere, if you know what I'm saying. Actually have a burr across most of that edge back there. That's good. The knife stops here-ish. Okay. That's about as aggressive a filing job as I think I can do it with good conscience. So I'm going to take some time to use a smoother file and clean it up. There you can actually see the difference. Like, this part's flat, this part's angled, where it's really rough right there. So it worked, and it's at a zero edge, and the angle's not super aggressive, which means it should be able to take light cuts really easily, I think. I'm still newish at a lot of this, and I've absorbed a lot from a lot of YouTube. I've absorbed a lot from just thinking harder. This magnet's absorbed a lot of metal shavings, you know, the classics. But seriously, that was this file. It is no longer on there. So a little bit of smoothing will actually save me tons in hand sanding and cleanup. So let's flip her back over and see where we got. In about a half an hour. Just gonna flatten out this little area that isn't bevel to give it a bit more contrast. Just gonna file out this little area that isn't the bevel so that there's more contrast between blade and the spine, I guess. Wow. Okay, so it's magnetic as shit right now too, for whatever reason. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I also want to have a very distinct point. Take care of I don't know if you can see the thin wire, like it's showing up, but it's just being pushed back and forth. When you're sharpening a knife, you want that. When you're making a knife and you haven't hardened it yet, well, it could prove to be interesting. Okay, I do have to be careful. This is very thin. And probably the thinnest knife that I've made intentionally that isn't this giant failure. Although, it might be a little thinner. Alright, cool. Files killing files. I need to get rid of those if I want to clean join up in the wood. Or, no, I need to at least get it flat. Same with this side. And for good measure, I probably should clean this up a bit. I don't know how I'm going to do that right now. I'll figure that out. Alright. Hand files have cannibalized hand files to make a knife. Neat. It's not really a knife yet, but we have this portion of the blade pretty much ready. I'm glad that that shows up great. And, you know, I don't really mind that particular concession. It made it easier by hand to reach that the zero point where this is now technically an edge. It's not sharp at all, really. Point's super fucking stabby. Next part is heat treat and temper would make the most sense, but before I do that, we have the wood, we have the wood, we have some thinking to do. After a day of thinking and marking off what I need to do, the scratchy parts are the ones that are going to get knocked off with a saw. And so, leftovers in a bucket, the dust probably also in a bucket. It's nice dust, it's good dust. Well, that stuff cuts like butter. Did it. Okay, so I didn't do fantastic. That's how out of square it was. This is the cut as it was made. This is the angle that it was made at all around. So, I didn't do great, or even elementary school good, but I'm not really worried. I can fix that too. I can fix all of my mistakes. Not looking forward to this cut. this will be the front of the knife, this side. Because the back is still got a 90-degree angle I can reference off of. And this won't after I'm done with it. Remember to listen to the wood. Really feel when you're gonna fuck it up. Really feel it. Would you like a pile of dust? I can sell piles of dust. That'd be great. I can do that all fucking day. Excuse me. Why'd you have to mute most of this video, Adrian? Well, you see, I'm an idiot. Alright. In my mom's hand, that should be fine. I don't know why I started going with the draw, but it's there. Oh boy, fucking howdy, it's there. Just stop. Alright, so the lighting got a little dramatic because I need it to be dark enough to see the colors change on this guy. I have to be delicate because it's a decent chance that I didn't get all of it. I was right. Fuck. Which typically means do it again. Am I scratching here? Or am I scratching there? I think it's both. Either way, this is hard as glass and I can't be rough. The safer way would be to do it again. One more time. No light. That feels more promising. All right. It's not always a sign of success, but okay. see this here gray pattern? It's usually a good indication that it worked. I'd really not like. I really like to not have to do that again. Yeah, that's way better. I may not have gotten all the way to the spine, but it definitely got that whole thing. Yes, sweet. Okay. Managed to do that without snapping it. Before I jinx it, I'm gonna wrap it and make my mom temper it while she's making bread.